this episode of Roadkill, the Iron Empire, we fix things on the side of the road again. Alright, so I'm out at Dave Lee's now and we have brought the car out to get tuned up. I knew this thing wasn't running right, and now that I've got the new exhaust on it, thanks to Complete Exhaust at Salisbury, I can hear how badly it's running, and it is shocking. It's like running on like 5.5 cylinders. So even out in the main drag, still terrible. So we've got it here now. He's shut off to the bakery to get some lunch. While he's gone, I'm going to get a battery swapped over because the alternator decided to die the other day as well. So I've got alternator to swap out, a fresh battery to swap out, and I've got a heap of spares. So hopefully we can get to the bottom of why this thing is running like an absolute pile. Alright, so we're just fiddling around with some points gap. Still a bit of fine tuning to do. But points gap is a hell of a lot better now. I've changed the set of leads, changed the set of plugs, and just doing a bit of tweaking. It's getting better. Always check your firing order. The firing order was never correct. Now it's correct. Alright, so we look like we're all done now. Leads all swapped over, timing set, carby tweaked, alternator swapped over for the one we had in the paddock. We're going to jump in the car, go for a hot lap, see how it goes. Cheers, man. So it's now the next morning and I've just spent the last couple of hours finishing off some wiring and an alternator swap. Since yesterday afternoon, I've had a total of 5 alternators on this car. For the life, cannot work out why it wasn't charging. Long story short is I've ended up with the alternator from my VG hardtop. I've swapped that out onto here, changed up a bit of wiring, and at the moment it seems to be charging. So, not much more I can do other than hope for the best and hit the road. So we're going to throw some spares in the car, throw some luggage in, and start making tracks. Fingers crossed we get there and back in one hit.
I have so much strength in me, you have no idea.
Alright, so we're all loaded up, ready to roll, and we didn't even get to Murray Bridge, which is probably, I don't know, not even an hour away, and started breaking down on the freeway. Luckily, Andrea ran off and grabbed a new ballast resistor before we left because this one was cracked. We did continue to run it in hope that it was all good, but now it randomly started breaking down. So is that the reason? I have no idea, but that's where we're starting. It's running with this new one in there, so fingers crossed it gets us through because we haven't got very far at all. See how we go. Alright, so all I've changed is the ballast resistor, and so far, touch wood, seems to be going alright. See how far we can go this time.
Now we're in Taylor
Spoke too soon. We still have issues. Luckily I planned ahead and ordered another coil. This happens This is the part where you just throw parts at a car, hoping that you're going to fix it because it's an intermittent electrical problem. My favourite. Okay, so we're now just on the other side of Canalpin, which is probably better known for its solo art, which means we've done about 60 or more Ks on the new coil, and so far it hasn't broken down. So touch wood, that was the reason for the issues on the highway. We're going to try and get to Horsham tonight, slightly out of our way, but it's way better accommodation. Give the car a bit of a rest, and then it's only a couple of hours in the morning to get to the track. So it's the next morning, obviously, looking at my head. Yesterday was a success. We ended up getting to Horsham, but it fought us the entire way. The ignition system is still junk, still breaking down on the highway. Oh man, it's been fighting me the whole time. So I've been on the phone to so many people trying to get some advice of what to do, what's happening. Basically, we're just going to send it this morning and see how far we get. I've got one more plan of how I'm going to hot wire this car if we have issues. We've got 3 hours left to do. I just want to get there. Maybe some Mopar people can help me down there. That only 20 k's from the racetrack we have come across an injured magpie. So now we're doing a detour to the vet to hopefully fix this magpie. But aside from that, I think we're going to make it. The car's still running okay-ish. We're going to get there. Magpie or not. Alright, we're nearly there. We're only about 2 minutes away from the track now, and it's been a challenge. The last 10 k's is starting to really break down now, and yeah, it's allowing us to go slower and slower. So I think I can see the track coming up now, so we're just on the last legs. We've made it. That's the main bit. We'll worry about getting home later.
That was mine.
Alright, so we're finally here at Heathcote Raceway for the Mopar Power Nationals, and yeah, pretty decent turnout. Had no idea what to expect. This is a country track, but there is a heap of Mopars, old and new. Unfortunately, no Hellcats or Demons or anything like that, but a heap of Trackhawks and 300Cs as well. Those things are freaking mental. Pretty much anything that is doing better times than those. We're talking like big banger, big cube, old school. There's a couple of Hemis that are sort of running like in the 9s and in the 10s and stuff. So yeah, pretty good turnout. It could be a bit cooler, but in the shade it's pretty good. Luckily I've met a few awesome people that have recognised the car and recognised from the channel. So that's good. Thanks to everyone that's come said g'day. We're going to continue having a look around, look through the show and shine, check out some of the cars in the pits, and we're just on a lunch break at the moment. And then yeah, so far so good. So that's it for the Mopar Nationals. The racing is starting to get a little bit strung out now, a little bit drawn out, so we're going to try and hit the road now, get a few Ks under our belt before it gets dark. Hopefully this thing makes it, but yeah, we'll try and get a few Ks before the sun disappears.
Breakdown number 4, 5?
5 billion. Alright, so we are nearing, where are we? We're Avoca Victoria. We're heading to stay tonight at Stall, and we thought that was a good spot to stay, somewhere different. But we've been fighting this ignition issue the whole weekend, and it's just getting to the point where we're struggling to even maintain 60 Ks. It's freaking bullshit. So I'm trying the condenser. It's the last thing, aside from hot wiring this entire ignition system, which I can do. The condenser in the distributor is the last thing we haven't done. So I'm going to pull condenser out of the old, without dicking around, hopefully without messing up my points. Pull my condenser out of another ignition dizzy I got. Hope that that's the problemo. Man, I hope that's the problemo. Alright. Condenser is swapped out from this one. It's a different dizzy, same motor, different condenser. I don't know. But it's all I had. This came on the 318 we bought the other week, and seems to be running. how far we get before it breaks down. When I say breaking down, it's not actually breaking down, it's like ignition breakdown, so you're driving along and it's just shuddering and brrr, losing spark. So, see how we go. About 2k's down the road, same problem. So I ended up adjusting the points gap, and I still can't. I've got no feeler gauges or nothing, but I don't know. I opened them up best I could. There doesn't seem to be much adjustment, but I've got a healthy spark there now. So, oh man, try again. Same shit, it's totally knackered, man. I don't know what to do now. I've run out of ideas. I've changed everything except for the distributor, and I do not feel like changing the distributor on the side of the road. Oh man, we've got issues. You hear the breakdown? Alright guys, so it's now 7 AM following morning, and we are at the Moonambell Resort here. Very helpful people, took us in very last minute last night. We had mega issues with this thing. I was fighting it even after tea, fiddling around, and I think that I may have found the issue. I'm not going to say what it is just yet. We're going to hit the road, see how far we get, and then we'll do an update and I'll tell you exactly what I've done. If this is a result of what I think it is, oh man. Fingers crossed this is the last time we have to address this thing. Let's hit the road. All right, so I've now just shortened up the high tension lead, which was way too long on the dart, because that's what I think it is. The high tension lead, I think, is breaking down. Last night when it was dark, I could see the spark shooting from the high tension lead down to the positive post on the coil. So I think this high tension lead is knackered and it's finding the path of least resistance. I've now shortened the lead up, so we'll hopefully overcome that. And Andy's going to give it a quick test run so I can hear the car from the outside. I've never even heard it from the outside. Actually sounds alright. She's pretty loud. That's pretty cool. We are literally in the middle of freaking nowhere. This road is like one step away from going full on dirt. So we were feeling a little bit too confident earlier and took off. For some reason it wasn't shifting, so I'm going up and down through the gears trying to get it to shift. Went too far, hit reverse, thing stalled, wouldn't start again. So I've just spent the last half an hour rigging up a little ignition system here. So now I've got, this is now my ignition. I've disregarded anything that goes into the cab because it was getting hot, so I think that something's arced out. So I've got a new ignition system, so I now have to wire this up like this. And then I've got my 12 volt by pushing that down temporarily and then start it with a screwdriver. Let go of that. We're back to our 7 volts. squeaky fan belt, but that's the least of our issues right now. We just gotta hope we got gears. So we're not having any luck finding a high tension lead because the people at the auto stores don't even know what a fucking high tension lead is. This dude didn't even know what a lead is. I had to walk out the back and point to an ignition lead. This is pathetic. Repco, useless. Super cheap, useless. So we hope that the lead fix that I've done is going to do the job. And also we've got transmission issues now, big time. So we're stuck in what seems to be stuck between forward and reverse. It seems to be stalling up even when it's in park, and it seems to be driving sort of okay, but even when it's in park, it's like it's still in gear, jammed between park and reverse or forward or something. So lots to work out. Absolute nightmare. So we finally made it home, 2 a.m. the following morning, and I have to say that was the most grueling road trip I've ever been involved in. We spent a total of 17 hours on the road that day to make it a mere 600 kilometers. It was absolutely painful, but it's home. We made it here, and the car's here with us, so I can't be too disheartened because this made on a pretty big road trip considering it was totally untested. A huge thank you to Chris, George and Dave. I was on the phone to a heap of guys helping me with various issues before and during that road trip. So thank you for those who helped. Thank you to everyone who said g'day at the racetrack. And thank you to Andrea for putting up with me and sitting through that absolute nightmare of a road trip. That won't deter us. We'll be doing this sort of stuff again, but we'll be doing it in something that's probably a little bit more road tested. As for now, please don't forget to comment, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and check out the online store. And I will see you all on an upcoming episode of The Iron Empire. Cheers, guys.